Hey, welcome to the channel. My name's Don and this is Heating Noobs. We're going to be going over this April Air Model 500M humidifier today. Going to give you kind of a rundown on how the installation process goes, some do's and don'ts on the installation. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box and take a look at what's inside. As you can see, you're going to have some instructions that come along with the unit. Here's the humidifier itself, as well as the humidistat, a 24-volt transformer, and some miscellaneous hardware and a piercing valve for your water line. These units can be oriented in different directions. There's a this is where your drain tap comes out of the bottom, and if you look at the top side, currently there's a small plug in there that just spins out, and you can flip that around so you can actually orient this unit this direction if that's the way that you need it to go. There's two small tabs on the top and the bottom that removes this cover plate. And inside you will see the water feed line going to the water panel. To change, or even during the installation process, you're going to just simply pull out on this hose and the water panel just clips in, kind of a little bit of down pressure, and you can lift that whole water panel right out of the inside of there. This is the part that goes into your duct. There usually is a template, and I will look through here to see if there's a template with this that gives you the exact dimension of what you would need to put on the side of your duct board and or your sheet metal duct to cut this out so this would fit on. And then you can see there's some mounting holes for them there. Okay, so this is your template. That's the exact size of that opening on the back of the unit. There's a wiring diagram. You have your 110 volt to 24 volt transformer to power the solenoid. You have your owner's manual. You have your piercing valve. You have your humidity control, and that comes with the mounting hardware. And then you have the directions for the humidity control. As you can see, there is this little tab here that simply opens that damper. It's labeled as summer and winter because you want it in the open position during the winter time when you're trying to add humidity, and in the summer position in the summer when the unit's turned off. There's your drain connection on the bottom. There's one of the push tabs that you push to pull the cover off. There's your water solenoid. Alright guys, we're going to talk about some of the components that come with the humidifier. Your humidity control or humidistat. And in order to install this, you need to know how to take it apart. So the first thing you're going to do is simply slide the knob straight off the front, like so. Then the unit just kind of pops apart. You have your cover piece and your back piece. And you'll notice inside of here there are only two terminals for two wires for the control. There's also a foam gasket that goes on the back of the control so that when this gets mounted or recessed into the duct, your duct would be here. The sensor is actually inside of the airstream. Okay, the next component that we're going to talk about is the piercing valve. And basically what this does is it just gets clamped onto a copper pipe, and I'll show you here in a second. There's basically a needle on here that pokes a hole in the pipe. I strongly advise against using these. However, if you do have to use one, only use it on copper pipe. I've actually seen guys install this on PEX or CPVC. These have a tendency to corrode and leak anyway, and it's definitely going to do it if you put it on the wrong type of pipe. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's literally a needle that pokes down through as you spin this in. So that will puncture through the pipe, and once you back it out, it'll allow the water out. There's also this little rubber gasket that kind of sits down on here to form a seal against the pipe. Like I said, I strongly advise against these. I would commonly go out and buy a quarter turn shark bite type valve and a T and install that in the water line. These just are not, they don't have a great lifespan, let's put it like that. And lastly, your 24 volt transformer. A lot of newer furnaces will have what they call an EAC terminal, which is designed to control something only when the fan is running. And you can wire this into that EAC terminal if in fact the EAC terminal is 120 volts. Some EAC terminals are only 24 volts, and if that's the case, you can actually use that terminal with thermostat wire as the hot into your circuit for your humidifier, as opposed to using this. Some guys like the humidifier to come on with the fan. So you can actually use the G terminal on your furnace or air handler to cycle on the humidifier. This particular manufacturer does not recommend that. I have to say I've done it on almost every humidifier I've ever installed. And you're going to have to use a G terminal if you're using the humidifier on a heat pump, for instance. The downfall to that is that anytime that fan's on, that humidifier can run. So you have to make sure that the homeowner knows to turn the humidistat to the off position in the summertime, because you don't want to add humidity in the summer. On a gas furnace or an oil furnace, mainly gas, depending on the age of the oil furnace, you can use the W terminal so that the humidifier only operates in heat. And you can overwhelm the factory transformer in an older furnace, but I've very seldom ever seen that be an issue. And I think, sooner or later these coming in the kits are going to be a thing of the past. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude the first part of our humidifier video series. The next video, we're going to actually install it on just a mock piece of duct board to simulate the return side of a system, and kind of show you guys the valves that I like to use as opposed to the piercing valve. We'll talk about what water line you can use to run from your valve to the humidifier, and we're also going to talk a little bit about the different ways you can wire it